Good morning, guys.
Well, Coach, another spring game in the books. Just what'd you think about this one?
I remember bragging. I don't think I've ever invented anything in my life, but we studied the heck out of how to make this game competitive. Like we studied like the data to see what a touchdown's really worth, what a turnover's really worth, what a stop is really worth, what a field goal is really worth in the game. So we wanted to make it like where it's somewhat competitive. We all kind of understand the scoring system. So I was bragging that every one of our games have come down to the very last play since I've been here and my system. And then I go in and at halftime it's like 10-2 and I'm like, that's what I get for bragging. We have a blowout here, right? And then the second half I told Burke, I said, look, Bubba, we're at the Masters right now and we've got like 6 holes to play and we got to have 5 birdies. And it ain't looking real good right now. He's like, Coach, have you seen my golf game? And I'm like, no, I haven't lately, Burke. He's like, well, it's not real good. I said, well, then we're in trouble. But we came through there and got 5 birdies on the last 6 holes, and it was exciting. Coach Lepp took some of his kids out over there on the other side of the ball as well. But at halftime, I just told them that the good news is those defensive guys are on our team. And it looks like we're playing the 85 Bears right now. And the second half, we kind of got going a little bit.
We saw a couple of big plays from J.J. Sparkman. Has that been kind of emblematic of what he's done this spring?
It has. I mean, he's just such an amazing human. I almost said his name to you about 4 times when you kept trying to bait me into talking about which of the new guys had really come on the scene. And he's obviously one of those guys. I've known JJ forever. I was his first offer back when he was a junior or sophomore in high school. And I had forgotten that when he was like in the 8th grade, he was thinking about going straight basketball. And his high school coaches asked me to speak to him about his chances of being a college wide receiver. And that was back when he was in the 8th grade. And I had forgotten even having that conversation. You know how it is with a junior high kid. You're not thinking about that when you're in the 8th grade. I was just trying to help a high school buddy out. And so, yeah, I've known JJ for a long time.
A couple guys sitting out today, Robert, Devin, Kavorian. Anything serious there or just kind of?
No, Devin could have played. Robert could have played. Kavorian could not have. He's still recovering for that shoulder surgery. Robert's got a little toe, nagging injury. And Devin's got some soft muscle tissue that we're just trying to be we know what he can do. It's very similar to the lineup we had last year because so many of those older guys were out. Frank wasn't going, Cephas wasn't going. So a lot of those kids played in the same spring game last year. But I thought Willie's really coming on. Willie had a really good spring game. He's had a good spring as well.
This is a first look for a lot of people at Devin Harris, and you transfer cornerback. Just how would you summarize how you thought he played today and just overall in the spring?
I'd have to watch the video to really know for sure. But I know he's growing up. I know he likes being here. He wants to be here. He's just developed some things, in the last couple of years. What he's gone through has been a lot for a young man. And the relationship we have with Coach Price and with Coach Graham, and hopefully he'd stay with me, we're getting him there. It's never been an issue of the on the field, it's the off the field stuff. But as y'all have known from just being here 5 seasons now, we really put as much work in the off the field as we do the on the field. And we feel very confident in taking some young men that might have made some mistakes when they were young and helping them. I told y'all a million times, I'm living proof that God can hit a straight lick with a crooked stick. And I'll be the first person to not be very judgmental of a young man that might have made a couple mistakes when he was younger.
Coach, I think you had a large group of recruits here. Just what's been the reception with the class so far, and how do you guys think you presented yourselves today?
Yeah, that was crazy. We got lucky on some of that with just all of them happening to be in town at the same time. But there's also a lot of work that goes into that. Parker and Jenna have been great additions, to our staff, and our assistants always do a great job, as our analysts do, and our GAs and QCs. But it's a total team effort. And, we're not far away. We're not far. We've got to get some NIL money raised, maybe a couple more spots in those recruiting departments. And we're getting close, people. I mean, we can get the indoors, what I like to call it, the NIL money up where it needs to be and where we could be really something. I told Kerry, when I'm at the end of my contract, if I'm not dead, this is going to be a hell of a job, man. It really is. It already is, but it's going to really be special.
What did you think of just all 4 quarterbacks today getting action?
Yeah, no, a lot of that was, some of that with their feet being innate athletes, you can't, the Lord makes that, right? I was really proud of how they operated it, and I felt bad for them because I blow a very quick whistle. So it's hard to score when they make every tackle. And every time they're near the quarterback, it's a sack. And it does show the defense also how important it is to tackle well. Because if you do, it's just really hard to move the ball. And I thought all four of them were efficient. Even though we were struggling early, it really wasn't on the quarterback. But some of that was quarterback's decisions. Like every time we call an RPO, we should call it like a PRO, because they want to be pass first, then run, the option.
Yeah.
And that bothered me. And in the second half, we came out and we just took what the defense was giving us. But other than that, there was a couple times on some read routes. There's a couple things mentally, but I thought they did execute well.
So what does Coach Traylor do now for the next month and a half, just as you get ready for fall camp now?
Yeah, well, I'll be trying to make sure, my on-the-field guys will be on the road recruiting. We'll have exit interviews this week, so once we get those exit interviews done with our players, our 10 guys on the field they'll be out recruiting. Me, the analyst, the GAs, and the QCs will be holding down the fort, make sure they're going to class, finish the semester strong, weight room, some optional walkthroughs, some optional video meeting time, where those guys, the older guys will organize some of that for us, and they'll take care of that. And that's what that'll look like. But, nowadays, I tell all my coaches, the most important players on our team are on our team. Those recruits, I love them, I want them, but I want my guys in my locker room the most. So we're going to make sure they're eligible and still want to play for the Roadrunners. And that's what I'll be doing for sure the next 2 weeks. And then the next, month, we'll make sure they're passing their classes and doing the right things.
You have any idea what to expect about the post-spring transfer portal once it opens up?
I don't. I've just tried to enjoy today, and I've not changed on that as far as, if anything, I was a little too soft last spring and worried about it too much. I'll confess that to you guys. And this spring it is what it is. I mean, we've lost 3 really great players, right? We picked up 13. So we'll see what happens. And I don't want to ever lose anybody. I don't. I love them all. But it's, they got choices, and I'll respect them, and I'll help them any way I can, whatever that looks like.
It may be too early for this question, but what are the expectations for the Roadrunner? It looks like you guys have a pretty good squad, and what's the ceiling for this team in the coming season? I know y'all get tired of my boring old answers, but since December 2019, when none of y'all believed any of this was going to happen, I told y'all then, we don't talk about winning very much. We don't. We really trust the process, and we try to win every day. We try to be the very best we can be every day. We have enough confidence in our ability to recruit, develop, and coach that we'll be in the hunt for a lot of those games, and I'll leave it at that.
Any special vacations this offseason?
Somebody asked me that today when I was walking on the field, and I just happened to be walking by Care Bear, and I said, there's the one to ask right there. I'm only the head coach in these moments, man. From then on, I'm the assistant coach. I really felt sorry for Nick when I heard Nick, when they were asking him about how he was enjoying retirement. He said if he got his chores done, he could go play golf. I'm like, well, if the GOAT of all coaches can, I don't feel like I'm so bad after all. I'm about the same as Nick.
Jeff, what's been your reaction to the hiring of Austin Clonch? I know you're a big basketball fan.
Yeah, it's my first love. I've teased him and told him if I had been born in Kentucky or Indiana, I'd be a basketball coach right now. I love hoops, and I love everything about the game, just because practice is so much easier to coach. I mean, football, you got to come in every day with like some magic tricks, get them suckers ready to go in football practice. Basketball, man, there's never a bad day in the gym. Everybody loves to shoot hoops. I'm really excited for Austin. I love Karen. She's done a wonderful job, and I fully expect Austin to jump in there and do the exact same thing she's done.
Jeff, appreciate it.